Hi, everyone. So we have a new month this month. We are going to be talking about our new topic this month. We are going to be talking about relationships. So I think it's a really interesting transition because this week, the relationship that we're going to be talking about is ourselves, the one that we have with ourselves. The topic is me, myself, and I. And that's really all it boils down to, right? We cannot even begin to have a healthy relationship with other people out in the world if we don't have a healthy relationship with ourselves. Now, I know for me, the thing that comes up and the thing that we're going to be exploring all month long is this idea of intervulnerability, this idea that we cannot be vulnerable unless it involves other humans, and that vulnerability is something that connects us and reaches out and branches out. And that begins in ourselves. We have to be willing to be vulnerable with ourselves. We have to be willing to trust ourselves. We have to be willing to keep our own agreements that we hold with ourselves. I think I used to believe that that was just kind of a given, that the relationship with myself was just the relationship with myself. And yet, what I have really found is that it requires cultivation. It requires spiritual practice. It requires this showing up for myself in a deeper way than I ever thought was possible or ever imagined was even necessary. That if I can't trust myself to follow through with my own agreements that I make, things like getting up and doing my spiritual practice, or not scrolling on social media before bed, or eating foods that nourish my personal body, or moving my body in a way that feels good to me, or getting the work done that I said I was going to get done, or taking the time to rest and play that I said I was going to rest and play. If I can't do that for myself, if I can't say yes to myself, then how am I going to trust that I will keep the agreements that I make with other people? And this has really been a journey for me, this idea of showing up to me first and saying yes to the commitments that I make to myself. And it's kind of been this two-way street. It's both following through on the commitments that I make with myself, and also being really intentional about what those commitments are to ensure that I can indeed follow through with them. We have New Year's resolutions, and I think we make this long list, and there's all these jokes about how by February your New Year's resolutions are out the window. And yet that's detrimental. It's detrimental to our relationship with ourselves to set these goals and these expectations of perfection and of being a whole different human that you are. That's not beneficial, because you're both setting agreements that you know you can't agree to, and then you're breaking those agreements, and the trust is broken kind of both directions with yourself. And so instead, what I choose to do is sit down and make intentional, small agreements with myself that I know that I can follow through on. I've talked before about how I'm doing morning pages now, and they're not my most favorite thing to do. However, I really like the way that it kind of clears my brain out and sets me up for the day. I feel like I have better mental health days when I do my morning pages. And so I set a word goal. I've been typing them up lately. I set a word goal. And I have been writing 1,000 words a day in just under 15 minutes. It takes me almost no time to just brain dump. And so I was like, oh, well, that'll be my goal, 1,000 words. But then I realized that I've been having really great days. I'm in a good mood. I'm waking up happy and awake and alive and vibrant and ready to go. It's been super easy to show up to those morning pages. So I stepped back and I said, do I want to make my goal what I've been doing at my best? Or do I want to make my goals something that feels manageable when I'm not at my best, when I'm having a hard day, when I'm really tired or lethargic or I'm anxious or my depression is showing up? Do I want to set a goal where that still feels meetable even on those hard days? And so the goal that I actually set was 750 words, because I feel like on those days that are hard, that I can still show up for myself. I can still say yes to myself. So it's not about setting these lofty goals for what you can manage at your best. It's about setting these reasonable goals that builds this relationship of trust and vulnerability with ourselves. So, what goals do you have for yourself? And are there reasonable goals that you can show up to and commit to no matter what else is going on in your life? And if they're not, do you need to adjust some of them so that you can show up and commit and trust to who you are, that you're really building a strong foundation for this relationship with yourself? I love you all.